Okay, it's Tuesday. It's 9:30 in the evening UK time. This is post analysis of today's price action. So on Monday, New York time, that's these candles at the top. We're currently looking at the 1 hour, and let me switch some of these things off. It's a bit messy. So we had a high, a low, and a higher high forming a market maker buy model, and the reverse of that is the market maker sell model, which is just by here. This swing low that you see just by here, so if I switch on the fractals very quickly, you can see this red triangle just by here, the swing low that I've got my two red lines pointing to. That's the market maker buy model, and the market maker sell model started here, and if we zoomed in onto the lower time frames, we probably find that this around this area is consolidation. So let's zoom in and have a quick look. You can see how it's starting to go quite flat on the 1 minute. Yeah, so we had an area of consolidation. You can see just by here we had the beginnings of the uptrend move. We had a low, a high, followed by a lower low, then a breaker, a small pullback. Then we had phase 1 and phase 2, and off it went to the highs. So back to the hour, find what I'm looking at. The sequence that I have established takes into account a few different concepts at the moment. So we have this fractal. We're looking for fair value on either side. I use an indicator I created to help me find it, but the swing low is always around a fair value gap, but the fair value expands further than that fair value gap because we have all of these highs and the wicks on these candles all form fair value, and it's the same at the top. So the swing high over here was formed by this fair value, and that's where we have this break above, and then it reverses, and we have the breakout. So the break of structure just by here. So we take the horizontal line, stretch it out. It's the red dash that you see, all the way over to here. But before we get to that, I'm also marking out the wick, and we've got this huge expansion, all these down candles. That whole area is a SIBI on a higher time frame, so it's a sell side imbalance, buy side inefficiency. I'm not quite sure what it's going to look like on the weekly. Can't see it, it's too, but maybe on the 4 hour, sorry. Yeah, so there's the SIBI actually is that whole area. So this blue rectangle forms an area of support. As you can see, price bounces off it and comes back up, and then we get this explosive move all the way through. And as we start to look to the right, you can see how price is hitting it, and it's quite resistive to get into there. So I'm mixing up different concepts here, blending things together to come up with a model of my own. So we have the swing low, the fractal, fair value, and sell side imbalance, buy side inefficiency. That forms the breakout on here. So we have areas of support. And as we get into this candle, this is 7 o'clock. As we zoom in, I'll switch on the New York open session so we can see it a little bit more. Those are the candles now in red and green. And you can see how the high formed inside this this rectangle. That's what become the resistance zone. And as we zoom in on different time frames, you can see there's a higher low and a higher high. So we have a market maker buy model by that. That forms a market maker sell model. On this break, we have phase 1 distribution on a lower time frame and phase 2 distribution by here. But this would be phase 1, this potentially phase 2 distribution, and we had a downwards move by here. So this would be phase 1 on a higher time frame, and this would be phase 2 on the higher time frame. But as we go down to the minute, you'll see, as we zoom in, we have a high, a low, a higher high. This whole area becomes the support. You can see how price is respecting that, not getting any lower. It goes up and then breaks through it, so that becomes resistance, and that's where price comes back up to this breaker, literally to the pip, and then just goes down. And that was at, have a look, that was at just before 8 o'clock this morning. And prices have gone down ever since. So that whole move was just shy of 70 pips. And 60 pips seems to be the average true range I find for euro dollar. So that's a good move for today. And that's kind of where my put this in here a minute. If I switch over to this and I go into that, you should be able to see, I don't know if you can, but a drawing I've just created which describes exactly what I've just talked about. I'll come out of that now. Okay, so let's find the stop button.